Denali National Park and Preserve is home to the only working sled dog kennel in the entire National Park Service. The dogs and the rangers here uphold a tradition as old as Alaska itself. A way of living, working, and traveling that some may think exists only in the past. The park's kennels are one of the few left in this country that still breed and raise the large freight-hauling style of Alaskan Husky. While dog teams were once common in many households in Alaska, used to support travel and transportation of supplies, when modern technology like snowmobiles and airplanes gained popularity, sled dogs began to disappear. Rangers hope that will never be the case here. The Denali Kennel carries on not just the history and heritage of Alaska, but the park itself. Dogs have played a key role in Denali since 1922, when the park's kennel was first established. They have worked with rangers to do everything from patrolling for poachers to supporting scientists studying climate change. While the work of the dogs has evolved over time, so too have the bloodlines.
One of the things that Denali's dogs are known for is that they're traditional freight-style dogs that used to be found all across Alaska when everybody had their own dog team for traveling or hauling, running trap lines.
Throughout the year, kennels rangers carefully assess each dog's performance in all aspects of their jobs. Is the dog confident, independent, outgoing, and friendly? Do they get along well with other dogs? Is their fur thick enough to keep them warm out on the trail when it's 40 below? Are their paws large but compact? Do they demonstrate a true desire to run and pull? And can they lead a team with confidence, but also work in partnership with the musher?
From this analysis, the kennel's manager chooses the breeding pair, the dogs who will continue the bloodline. Once a breeding takes place, gestation lasts 60 to 65 days. The pups are born in the kennel, and the staff are always on hand to assist with the arrival of the newest canine rangers.
For the first few weeks of their lives, the pups are entirely dependent on mom. Their eyes and ears remain closed, and they can't produce their own body heat or eliminate their own waste. They spend all of their time sleeping, nursing, and growing.
After the first critical weeks have passed, the pups emerge from the doghouse and begin to explore their world. Kennels rangers handle and gently stress each pup, developing essential neuromotor pathways. This allows them to calmly react to any situation they may face in their adult lives. As the pups grow, training starts to build sled dog skills. Short runs on the track turn to long exploratory walks with the rangers, mom, and other adult dogs. The pups run through the woods, climb over logs, and get their feet wet at creek crossings, all preparing them for the challenges of the trail. Truly important, as these pups will replace the kennel's oldest dogs, who at age 9 are ready for retirement. But it's not just the pups who are training each fall. Kennels rangers have to get the big dogs ready for the trail too.
Getting in shape for winter work begins with cart and ATV runs. When there's enough snow, we switch to sleds, and that's when the fun really begins. During these runs, each dog not only rebuilds physical strength and fitness, but also sharpens his or her mental capacity for teamwork, navigation, and the ability to follow commands.
By the time the snow starts to blanket the pristine Denali landscape, the new puppies have grown big enough to cover several miles running loose, but they are still not physically or mentally ready to train and pull with the adult dogs. The pups learn to pull by ski joring.
Pulling a skier is a much less stressful way for the pups to learn the concept of pulling and can accomplish several goals. We can have one adult dog on the line to help guide the puppy and show her what to do. We can work individually with the little guys on verbal commands and build their confidence in working with humans. The puppies love ski joring, and it gives us great insight into each individual's personality and their training needs, much more so than if they were just one of many dogs pulling in the team.
The park's modern-day mushers and dogs carry on a long, proud tradition of human and canine rangers working together to travel and protect this unique landscape. Harry Karstens, the park's original superintendent, was first and foremost a dog musher. Even before the park was established, Karstens traveled and worked in the area, most notably as a guide for Charles Sheldon, a wealthy hunter-naturalist who came to study Dall sheep in the early 1900s. This partnership and journey inspired Sheldon to lobby for the creation of this national park in 1917. When Superintendent Karstens was first tasked with protecting the park, he recognized the dog team was essential to his duties. He bought the park's first 7 sled dogs from Norman Hadley and the Nana and used the team to monitor wildlife and patrol for poachers. A century later, the dogs have proven an invaluable tool for traveling Denali's remote landscapes, even in today's rapidly changing modern times. Dog teams remain more reliable than most machines when it comes to starting up at 50 below zero. They can easily travel through wet overflow, a hazard that could bog down a snowmobile.
By using these sled dogs instead of machines, we're replacing cold engines with warm, beating hearts. We're trading a tangle of wires for a network of veins, channeling blood enriched with passion, purity, and an electricity that no battery will ever come close to harnessing. That's what powers this place. And after a long day on the trail, dogs are much more fun to cuddle up with than any snowmobile.
These sled dogs can also go where machines legally cannot. The 2 million acres of Denali wilderness established during the park's expansion in 1980. Wilderness, as defined by the Wilderness Act of 1964, is a place where the land is untouched and man himself is a visitor who does not remain.
Wilderness is so much more than a set of legal directives. It is also an experience, a feeling our visitors are seeking when they come here. The sled dogs are an exceptional means of preserving the unique wilderness character of this park. By using them as our primary means of transport in the winter, we keep our heritage alive and promote the value of traditional tools and skills in a modern world.
We're getting ready to go check out the lower stakes on the Tolika Glacier. These stakes were drilled into the ice, and we periodically go out and see how much they've melted out of the ice and do a couple other things like check out the snow density. What makes these stakes really interesting, or monitoring this glacier in particular really interesting, is that over the past year the elevation of the glacier has actually been rising, which makes it seem like something is going on, like it might be surging.
During Denali's long, cold winter, park scientists may need to access remote locations within designated wilderness for their research, or trail crew and maintenance staff may need to transport large, bulky items to remote locations for project work. While a helicopter, airplane, or snowmobile may seem like the obvious choice, the Wilderness Act mandates park staff take a different approach.
You know, the dogs mushed out to Wonder Lake, and then the dogs actually hauled all of our stuff up to McGonigal Pass.
Park managers must ask, what is the minimum tool that we can use for this job? In Denali, that means asking, can we use a dog team to accomplish this work? Dog teams don't just haul in supplies to remote locations. They also haul materials out of wilderness. Backcountry rangers and volunteers will hike into remote areas and pile up heavy debris during the summer months so the dog teams can return in winter to haul it out.
In addition to the projects completed with other divisions, we also help break trail and establish winter travel routes. We report on conditions and help our winter visitors prepare for the backcountry. And in doing that, we hope our dog teams encourage and inspire people to come have their own adventures during Denali's beautiful winter season.
Most summer visitors cannot imagine returning to Denali in winter, but Kennels Rangers have long known a secret that surprises many. Travel in this park is often easier when the thermometer dips below zero. Thick brush hides below swales of snow. Boggy lakes and spongy tundra freeze solid, and turbulent rivers transform into highways of ice. For those seeking solitude, adventure, and challenge, a winter journey through Denali's wilderness provides the intrepid traveler a refuge from modern civilization and a place to rejuvenate the spirit. Cold temperatures typically usher in clear, sunny skies, which reward with gorgeous views of the majestic Alaska Range, and long, dark winter nights provide opportunities to witness the magic of the Aurora Borealis.
Hi everybody, I am Ben's aunt, Janet. Hope you guys are having a good time. Ben is doing his talk on dog sled racing, and so he asked me to talk about our hobby that we used to do, dog sled racing. So I have this cool sled that we had growing up as a family. We used to dog sled race with Ben's mom and other aunt and dad. So I'm going to talk about kind of what a sled is for dog sled racing. So of course, this is where we hold on, the handle, of course. It's got to be nice and sturdy so we can hold on. The sled's kind of old, so it's a little rickety, but they're really sturdy. The runners, these are called runners right here on the bottom. The runners are what the sled sits on. So they're nice and smooth, kind of like the bottom of a snow ski. So they slide on the snow really well, okay? And what a dog sledder does, person, stands right here on the side, and you have to hold on. Now it doesn't look very thick, but you have to hold on because you don't have dogs pulling more weight than they need, which that makes the point of the sled itself. It's made of wood and sometimes aluminum and sometimes fiber, so it needs to be lightweight for the dogs to pull. Also, the brake, that's the most important part in the sledding, of course, is this floppy thing right here. This is nice metal right there, and when you push on it with your feet, it digs into the snow, and you have to hold your foot on to keep the dogs and make them stop when you yell to stop for them. So it springs back up when you let your foot off, and you kind of put it back on. So you do this, and that holds the dogs. There's also this thing called a snow hook, and it's pretty heavy duty and scary. It's metal, and it has a hook on it, and what you do when you're stopping the dogs, you hold your brake, but then you dig this into the snow, and as the dogs are starting to slow down, that digs harder into the snow. So that's your second brake for you to hold the dogs in. The other thing is the bed of the sled. Now the bed of the sled, this one's kind of short, and it's kind of for passengers or if you're taking gear. Like in old times when the dog sleds were used a lot, they had a longer bed to carry supplies and things like that. So that's why there's a seat there. It kind of looks like for somebody to sit on for that. The front of it's bent in the front. It's called a brush bow, and that's just bent for aerodynamics, so it makes it easier to, you know, for the sled to be pulled. And talked about snow hook and handle. I think that's about it. I know Ben has talked about some other stuff for you, so hopefully that explains it for you guys. So mush on.
Legs over the dog like this. The little reflecty part goes in the front, and you put this so that her little head can go through this hole. She's in, almost. So then you want to put one little leg through, another little leg through, and there you have it. And right here would be where you would hook it up, wait Ruby, with all the other dogs. And then you can be right on your way. Okay, ready Ruby? Let's go, come on.
So today we have the FID tool, which is a elongated tool with a hollow end, and it's pointed. And what happens is you put the line inside here, like so, and you feed it through and weave it, almost like a needle effect. So we have the FID, F-I-D, and then we have a polypropylene rope, which is actually made out of polyester, and it's a very tightly knitted rope, so it won't break and won't come undone. And what today we're going to do is we're going to actually make a gang line. So you take the FID, the pointy end, and you work your way through the rope. It might take some effort. And then you insert the end, feed it all the way through. This is how you thread it. It comes out the end. And then you do it one more time. Actually, you go through here first. A little bit of effort to get it through. Very tight. Pull this end through. And there you've made a very tight connection for your gang line, and it won't come out.